so cold, stories are all told. And it's too strange for me, just wanna be free. I thought that I found hope, I just lost hope. I see a better place in the olden days, when my journey first begun. But the storylines, the better times, took me back to the core. This is home. You know there ain't no better place. Everybody knows. Yeah, we should go and celebrate. This is home. There ain't no better place. Everybody, show the world we are one. I just wanna breathe this, just wanna live it. Don't wanna read headlines and listen to sun shines. Now walk down this road as far.
Hey, hello everybody, welcome again, as usual, every month, talking about ZBrush and jewelry. My name is Nacho Riesco, and I will be here with you during the next 2 hours, so welcome. So as I said before, we will be working on jewelry design, and we started a month ago, or so, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And today we will continue working on it. You can see it now on the screen. This is wooden or snake root, where we're gonna have a snake in the middle with 2 flowers on the sides, and we will continue working on this design. I will show you what I did during my free time, because this is it doesn't look like we left it on the previous stream. I have been working on it a little bit. I will show you the progress I made, so taking some decisions about the design, so changing the proportion, changing a bit the composition. I will show you it now. So let me check if all the settings are working here. Let me check one thing first. Let me know if you can hear my voice loud and clear, if the music is not too loud, and as usual. So let me know, just let me know, leave your comments. I will be here just for showing to you what I'm doing, and not just for that, so, but I will try to help you about all of your questions, or about all of your comments you will make during the streaming. So leave your comments. So let me read the comments. Hey Jason, welcome. Goofball Guinness, welcome. Hey Fexter, how you doing? Here I am again, as usual. Another month. We're in May, every month. And let's start. Hey Kat, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Let's see. Okay, it looks like everything is working. All runs perfect. Thanks Fexter for the comments. So good to know, because I'm used to check the streaming when I end the stream. I've always noticed that the music was a little bit not loud enough, or maybe too loud. My voice didn't sound good, but okay, so let's go ahead with as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, this is going to be the second streaming about this design. We started on the previous streaming, just in case you want to see it, you want to recap, you want to watch it again. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can read here the name of my YouTube channel. This as usual, youtube.com Nacho Riesco. Here, scrolling down, you will find here the previous streaming where we were starting from scratch this snake design. So as I said before, I have made some progress on it, so I will show you what I did. But just in case you want to rewatch this video again, just for understanding better what I'm doing here, so you can go here, and here at the bottom you can read my Linktree link, where you will be able to find me on the social media. So you will find our my website, my Instagram, my Facebook page, and so on. So you will have the chance to see what I'm doing and take a look about the jobs that I do. And okay, let's start first. This is the first try we made. Let me check one thing. So I think we ended here. Yeah, more or less. You can see it here. It is this design. Let me try to make this smaller. You can see more or less is this design. It's this one. You can see I completely revised it. You can see here the flowers are smaller than they are now. The snake is bigger or thicker than that it is now, and this is the first try, and I made a second progress, which was this one. You can see now it's closer than the one I already have now, as the final one is going to be this one. Let me turn off the boolean. This is going to be the third. Shift S, you know, to make you can see this is another one. This is the previous one, and this is the first one. You can notice clearly the differences between each stage of the design process. During the designing process, we are developing the idea, of course, and most of the time the composition, some technical aspects. So I started with a bigger piece now, as if I remember well. Here I am more or less, this is around, let me see, from top to bottom, around 62 millimeter high, around 60 millimeter tall from top to bottom. So this one was I think taller or longer. So it was reaching 70 millimeters instead of 60 millimeter. Now it is a little bit smaller, and you can see I decide to make the flowers bigger than before. For me, it's a good decision in terms of composition. You can see the body of the snake is a little bit more longer, elongated, so not so thicker from side to side. So, and also I was working on the branches, given these two extra, so keeping the main shape of the principal branch, but adding two secondary branches instead of this. And this is where we are now. So I have decided that this is going to be the starting point. So from this point we will start refining the concept, started taking more decision about the stone setting, detail, surface detail, for example the sculpting, these petals of the flowers, and so on. So let's be Control N for cleaning the canvas. We are here. Also, I decide to add two stones in the center of each flower. Maybe a little lower on the music. Okay, let me check. Let me check a little bit lower. I think I need to touch here. Let me know if it is working now better. The music sounds louder now. So I said that this is, you can see, and let me turn on the boolean, like boolean here. This is another idea that I have now. So just for adding two stones in the middle of each flower. They are a 3 millimeter stone side. And also I think I was talking about this, and I have decided to add a hinge here to make a movable part, because when you are wearing the brooch, maybe here it's going to be easy to break or easy to I don't know how to say this, is to hang or to interact with the cloth, with the surrounding cloth that you are where you are wearing the, and maybe it could be a very pointy ending, and this is the reason why I decided to add here a hinge, just for adding a movable part at the end of the tail of the snake. Let's see how we can resolve this. How I made this, you can see here, just creating this cutter. Maybe this should be, it is not the final position on the final shape, but here it is a rough idea, because here you will put a pin just for making the hinge movement, but this is just for, maybe we will develop this idea later, because till there we should be working on more details and more stuff till we arrive to this little small detail at the end. And this is on the back. You can see I have tried to replicate a needle system when you have the hinge, and here the closing system, just for knowing how big is going to be the needle and where are going to be the contact points or the soldering points. So just for having the necessary space for soldering the needle on the back, and just when having the needle on the back, we know how far we can go. For example, in this case with the branches or with the petal, maybe this petal is too close to the end of the brooch. Maybe we should try to push this to the right, so maybe now it's like this is better, and maybe this branch also needs to be a little bit closer to here, like this. Watching it from the top, maybe like this, and maybe we can just, you can see here I'm still playing with the design, so it is not 100% fixed, so it still needs to be fixed in some parts, because I am finding some issues or some problems, but looks like everything is working fine. You can see the needle on the back and the composition. You can see the two branches, the main form of the branch with the two secondary branches, where we will make soldering points for the flowers, and that's it. Another idea that I will show you, this is the if I turn this on, if I turn this off, I will move this by mistake. This should be here, maybe in the middle of the canvas, like this. So for example, if I make the boolean here, or here, but of the folder, turning this off. So let's go in here and let's make the boolean folder, and let's duplicate this. Let's put it here and merge down, just for showing to you what the idea that I have for the stone setting. Let me select this. This is where we are. So we will put this for each stone right in the middle, more or less. We should sculpt or detail first the flowers. If I open this, no, I just need to open this. If I turn this off and turn this off, so just for having a rough idea about what I have in mind about the stone setting, so it will be here. So the stone setting will be a traditional basket system. Maybe we should push this more inside, maybe here in the middle, or maybe we can change here the shape, the position, the orientation, and we will add here this. So and this, you can see here, this is a traditional basket system where we are going to add 4 prongs to retain or to place the stone, and also we will add 4 more, you know, the technical word about the flowers of this, but you know what I'm saying. This is just for adding a design element to the composition, right? So we will have something like this in the middle. Okay, so let's start working on the snake, maybe on the branch first. Let me know if you have any comments or questions, suggestions, whatever you want. Hey Ezio, Pierno, welcome from Italy, nice place. Very nice place. I love Italy. I have been in Italy 2 times, maybe 2 times or maybe 1 time, but not in the south. So in Napoli, I have been in Rome. Rome. Okay, let me turn this off. Turn this on. Turn this on. Let's start working on the branch. So this is the branch, of course. Maybe we can say that we are more or less in the middle of the design development. So that means that we will be making changes or changing proportions, not only detailing the surface that we already have, but maybe we should be taking more decision about design in terms of composition. And also, if we are talking about jewelry design, we should be start thinking about the weight. So that means that when we are adding elements like this one, we will try to make them as thin and as light as possible. Maybe this is one idea that I have for the snake. Maybe we will make the body on the back almost hollow inside, but not so 3D like it is now. Let's see how weight it is. But at this moment, let's start working on the branch. This is the branch. You can see the branch is composed by different meshes. I was making the branch with different pieces of geometry, but from this point where we are now, we can call the gizmo and we can click the gear and create one single mesh, just clicking on remesh by union. So ZBrush will remesh. Okay, here I have an issue here. Okay, let me fix this first, because just for having the right polygroups, like this, maybe like this it works better. So again, clicking here and remesh by union. So you can see here all the meshes has been welded together. So now we can go to the series measure. Maybe it's going to be a good idea to keep the polygroups. So when we are about to create a new mesh, clicking the series measure button is going to be necessary to turn this on. So we are looking for maybe the double. So let's see, like this, leave it like this. And now we have a completely brand new mesh, but with the previous polygroups. Okay, let's see, let's start polishing. And as you can see, the unions between each branch looks more natural than before. And maybe we can start sculpting, maybe with the clay build up. I like to remove the alpha or this brush, because maybe we are going to, as I said before, thinking about thicknesses, thinking about the weight. For example, when we are having a big amount of material like this, is like a knot where we are having the union of two branches. Maybe it's going to be a good idea for try to make this part a little bit thinner, just for not having a very bold and thick piece of metal, so that could be heavy. Or try to remove it like this, and try to at this point try to break this kind of tubular shape. So this is because it doesn't look like a branch, just for breaking the surface, adding some kind, this is more hard surface looking, or you know, I'm sure that you know what I mean. So try to transform these curved surfaces that we already have and try to make them, give them a more organical or branch stuff or good stuff. I don't know how to say. So like this, and maybe like this. Most of it is not going to be visible at the front, but anyway, I think it's good to have the habit to sculpting all of the parts on the design, not only the visible part, just for adding more value to to the piece or to the object. Maybe like this. Let's start breaking more surfaces. Like this, like this. It looks. See, I think I like it. Like, try to, for example, this. Let's reduce this knot that we have here. Maybe it's too thick. This. Nick Tyler, yeah, I have seen something like this in design. It was a laser curve. Yeah, it is a very well-known, typical kind of jewelry design when we are talking about lizards or when we are talking about the snakes. Just for having the branch with flowers, with a reptile or with a snake in the middle. So the reason why I'm making this, the main reason is because this year is the wooden snake year, based on the Chinese calendar. That's the reason why I decided to make this design. Point it was like 2 inches in length, but still super light. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, of course, that's for being hollow inside, for making things, for making the objects or the jewelry designed hollow inside. The main reason is make objects or the designs lighter. This is maybe this is one of the reasons why I will try to explain you. Just for the belly of the snake, the bottom, the back part of the snake, instead of left this shape like it is now, maybe I'm thinking I'll try to add some more like a concave, something more like this, just for removing material and just to try to make it as lighter as possible. Now it is not definitive. This is the body, because you can see here the head is still as a separate subtool. We are going to make the head, and once the head is done, we are going to weld it, we're going to solder it to the body, and then we are going to start series measure the whole thing, the body on this on the head all together, and that's the reason why it is still separated, because I was playing with the composition of the head, the angle of the head compared with the body, and for me it's easier to keep them as a separate individual elements, because it's easier to play with them, to try to find the right composition on, or to try to find a good rhythm between the head and the body. So let's fix maybe I'm watching here nice shapes like here or like here, for example. We can start changing more shapes. Maybe this is too, looks like more like a blade, so let's make it thicker. Maybe I don't like this shape that I have here. It's a little bit strange, so let's try to find a more interesting shape here, like this. Keep in mind that here I need a thicker element, because I haven't shown you before, this is going to be the contact point for the needle, so it's going to be necessary to leave here a thicker part, just for having a good surface, contact surface for the soldering. So it's going to be necessary to leave this kind of ending here, just for maybe not that much, because if so, it's going to be maybe too thick. Also, we will add here a soldering point, contact point between the branch and the snake, just for adding here a welding point. The idea that I have now is to split the design in 4 parts, so the snake, the branches and the flowers. So it's going to be necessary to make an assembling between each other, so between the different 4 parts, and we will start talking at some point about the assembling system between each other. So I don't like here the ending here of this branch. Let's see what I do here, because I don't like it. Maybe I can cut this, and maybe we can apply something more like this here. Not sure what to do here. I know. Let's see with H polish. Let's start using this. From the side is maybe needs some curves here, like this. One brush that I love to use at the blocking stage is trim dynamic. Is like using a file when you are removing material from the surface. Like this, it's nice for getting this kind of, like this looks like two heads instead of a branch and a head maybe. Maybe we can try to change the orientation. Maybe let's blur this and let's try to face in this way. That could be. Yeah, maybe something like this looks better. Are you gonna detail the snake with the scales? No, I don't, because the idea that I have now it's to create a more simplified snake. I don't want to create what I can say anatomical correct snake or realistic snake skin. Also, I'm going to try to simplify also the head, because I'm looking for more like a more I don't know how to say, stylized snake, because I will add the stones here on the surface, a row of stones with more stones, not surrounding, not covering the whole body with a pavé of stone, but with some drops of stones here and there, with a central row of stones. So I'm not looking for a realistic snake scale body, because if we are taking a measurement, of course, here I'm reading from left to right, or the thickness of the body. We are talking about 3 millimeter thick piece of metal. So if we are thinking about the scales are going to be so small that they are not going to be almost visible or almost readable on the surface, because we are going to lose a lot of surface detail with such small scales. Maybe I will try to make a kind of simplify or kind of texture on the surface, not just for leave the back of a snake completely flat, but the idea that I have now, it's I will try to avoid to make the snake scales on the snake body. So this is how far we can go with the branch. So let's see here. As I said before, we are still on the developing system. I'm sorry, on the developing our design process. So that means that details are not important yet. So I am looking for more the rhythm of the forms and the composition. So this is how far I will go with just for checking how thick is this from left to right. This is 1.7 millimeter. Maybe we can reach 2 millimeter at some points. Yeah, it's like we are using a 2 millimeter wire thickness. Yeah, it is not going to be very heavy, this part, but it's going to be enough. Same thing here. Like this, and then it's going to be enough. So let's try. Maybe the branches need to be a little bit more relaxed, not with so many corners, I think. Maybe the central branch could has more angles, but maybe the secondary branches needs to be not so angled. Let's see. Okay, maybe like this looks nice. Let me save it. It is going to be the Woodless Naked Brute number 2. Okay. Create invisible hem setting with ZBrush with software Kale Hem Studio. It would be great if they will show ZBrush how to do a visible gem setting and how to laser scan the gem. I will try to read it again, Chris, your comment, because I'm not sure if what you are saying. Invisible hem setting with ZBrush with software called Gem Studio. I don't know that software. Good way they would show ZBrush how to do a visible gem. Are you referring to create a gem inside of ZBrush with ZBrush? And I think, are you saying that the way of making this geometry with the gem cut, maybe if so, maybe for me hasn't too much sense, because even if there is already a software that makes the hem cuts for you, I know. Maybe we talk about ZBrush. Maybe we are maybe this is the power of this software is more based on the designing process and of course during the sculpting process. Maybe hasn't too much sense to try to use ZBrush for making hem cuts, if I understood you well. If not, so yeah, I want to be like you. Yeah, here, this is the reason why you are here. I will try to show you or to teach you as more as I can. So just being here every month. Kat, do you ever post photo of the finished pieces of their cast with the stone set? But yeah, most of the time, yes. When I have the chance of casting or manufacturing my designs, let me show you. You go here, you can read it here on the, okay, let me, oops, like this here on the bottom of me here. You can see here the address, my link tree link address. So you will be here, and if you click on my website and you go to my galleries and to the cam and casting section, you will be here examples of photographs of my designs, what I have been doing during the years, and some of them I have been doing them during other live streamings like this one. And you can see here many different pictures of manufactured designs during the printing process or during the casting process. You can see this is the already finished piece. This is a printed piece, already finished. This is a piece during the polishing or finishing stage of the process. Same thing here. This is the finished piece, and here you have many different examples about different processes. Not always I send my design for manufacturing and for casting and for printing, because depending on the money that I have at that moment available, maybe how important the design for me is. Maybe in some cases I try to make it as more as possible, but considering sending out the design for making, depending on the workload of the workshops, the prices of the metals, the prices of the stones, not always I send my design for manufacturing. But here you have many examples of some of them already manufactured. You can see inside of my website. Let me put this here on the side like this. Personal, how long I have been using ZBrush? I have been using ZBrush for 18 years. 18 years. I started using ZBrush in the version 3, number 3, or maybe 3.5 version. It was in the 2007 or 2006, more or less. Okay, let's start working on the head of the snake. I already have here the head separated. You can see here this is the same shape, but with maybe this one is bigger. Maybe it needs to be smaller. The head is from top to bottom is only 70 millimeter tall, 70.5. I'm reading the number here on my top left corner. When you are taking measurements with the transpose line, you want to know how thick is this from left to right. It is 4 millimeters by 70.5 millimeter tall, and has sense thick of the head. It is now 2.9 millimeter, maybe 3 millimeter. So I will create the head symmetrical. So for that I will hide the folder, I will hide the needle, and maybe I will start working on the head. I already have a good reference here from the PureRef board, the collection of references that I grabbed. I think this is a good this is the one head that I like for this snake. As I said before, I'm not going to replicate the snake from an anatomical point of view, from a realistic point of view with the scales. You can see the pattern of the scales most of the time on the head is completely different than the body, but I'm just looking for the shape of the head. So with 2 stones on the sides, the differences between the cranius and the jaw, and that's it. So let me put this on the side. Mode always on top. Here I have more different maybe for me this is maybe it's too rounded, too regular, too boring. Maybe that's the reason why I decided to select this as a reference. And having, for example, I don't like this one with the eyebrows, maybe too comic style, or not the kind of style that I'm looking for. And for example, I have collected here more references with real jewelry pieces. I like this one, but this is not the kind of the snake that I'm looking for. For me, this snake, it looks like more a python or something. I'm looking for more like a viper or a completely different kind of snake with not the scales on the head. But for example, this is too simple. Maybe this one, more like this one, for example. For this one, I like, for example, here you can see the shape of the mouth. It's like, looks like a friendly snake, not aggressive. This is the kind of a snake head that I'm looking for making that. So let's start working on it. Let's see. This is symmetrical, yes. And then this is maybe first of all placing the eyes, the eye sockets. Maybe they will be here, something like this. And with the polish, edge polish, it's like as I said before, it's like using a sanding paper or a file when you are creating planes. Don't forget to use the Alt key. You can see for getting flat surfaces. This brush is very useful. Same thing here at the bottom. Okay, you can see here the position of the eyes when we're talking about the snake. They are very important. It's not the same putting the eyes here or putting the eyes closer to the nose or to the beginning of the mouth. Like this is good. So I will try to make the neck socket, or we can call it neck socket or the neck connection. Maybe like this. Maybe let's add the jaw with the IM primitives, maybe with a sphere. We can create a disc, like this, and then we can start creating the jaw. Now with the back face mask, let's apply more thickness. Like this. Let me find the reference I found before for the mouth. You can see here the mouth. Oops, I forgot to use the symmetry. No. Let's invert the visibility here because I need a little bit of cavity here. You can see how weird the topology looks like. And now it's time to make a new mesh. But maybe later, because I'm still focused on the shapes. Yeah, let's come back to the original reference, because it has a kind of a fall here like this. Maybe the eyebrows and the nose. This is going to be enough. Man, let's see how big is the space available for the stones and the eyes here. Maybe we can set in a stone here. It is 1 millimeter. Maybe we should put here set in a stone smaller than 1 millimeter, or maybe a 1 millimeter stone is going to be good. So let's go to the ZBrush now. Now it's good to have this button active, the double, with the ZBrush, and now we'll start getting a better topology like this. Let's see. We can click on auto groups to create a new group, so we will be able to isolate the head from the jaw here, and maybe we can push this in. At this point, we don't need more geometry. We are just looking for the right shapes, because after this it's going to be necessary to, as I said before, to weld the snake with the body. So I'll create a new topology. So at this point it's not important the details yet. Let's see. Okay, like this. I say this because that I'm not worried about the details and the shape, but at the end we are start making details where they are not necessary, but we love to create details of. But I think like this is going to be enough. Maybe try to make it more or less circular. Try to create a flat surface for the stone like this, and maybe at the point where we are now it's going to be enough. Maybe wider here, more narrow here. From the bottom maybe we can change the shape like this. Okay, I think it's going to be enough. And let's duplicate. I like to keep one backup of the original, just in case if I need to come back again and start over again with the head because I don't like it or whatever. So let's create a copy. Let's keep it safe here inside of the folder, and let them go to the just for making a, let's delete this, just for having the process recorded or stored with the different phases or the different stages of the design. Let's create a duplicate of this. Let's make a duplicate. This is going to be the phase number 3, and we are going to put the head inside here. This is the thing, right? Let's make everything visible. Let's put it in place. Symmetry. Oops, let me hide this and let me put this, and it will go here. Maybe smaller like this. Let's hide this one like this. Yes, facing up a little bit. Will be this way. Okay, I think this is going to be the right, maybe the right position. Not sure. Maybe let's see. Maybe more like this. Maybe the neck should be thinner at this point. Yeah, okay. I think like this it should work. Okay. Nick tightly measure with a transposed knife. Yeah, this is the way that you have inside of ZBrush, you know, for taking measurements. Jewelry is usually small, but have you encountered a problem with the sculpting real scale? No, I never found any problems with sculpting real scale. As I remember, ZBrush historically had problem with real world. Well, when we are talking, everything is a real world scale. So that means the difference is when you are sculpting a small object or when you are sculpting big objects, depending on the size of the scale, the proportion of the thing that you are doing. You know that ZBrush likes to handle or to manage small objects. That's the reason why all the primitives are very small. The default primitive that we are using, for example, we are using a cube. It is 2 by 2 by 2 millimeters. We are working with very small objects. That means that when we are increasing the object to a bigger scale, and not it's not necessary to make it very big. So I mean, going from 2 millimeter for 12 millimeter or for 20 millimeter, 20 millimeter in the real world, it is still a small object, but for ZBrush it's a big object. So maybe some of the settings of some of the behavior of the software change a little bit, but when you understand what is happening, there isn't any problem. So it's a different way of working. You have the way of working that ZBrush likes with 2 millimeter small objects, but you change the scale, you get into a completely different way of working instead of in terms of units or the behavior of the software. But at the end, there isn't any problem with both of them. I don't know if you could point any problem that you are having. Maybe I can give you a solution or advice or something. But we can say that ZBrush doesn't like to work with big objects. That's true. But the question is, can you work? Can you make big objects with ZBrush? The answer is yes. So at the end, there isn't any problem. So it is not a real problem. It's just a matter of change your way of working on, and that's it. Kuntal, hey, welcome to the stream. I mean, product I recommended me a book about jewelry manufacturing. Ooh, there are many. I haven't got many books about jewelry because today I'm used to search everything inside of on the internet, but there are many places. For example, if you want to go a very interesting place inside of YouTube, let me remember the name now. Yeah, now I can't remember the name easily because the name is in Spanish. The company is from the United States. It is Rio Grande Jewelry, this place. And here you will find a bunch of podcasts, training videos about many different jewelry techniques, manual techniques, digital techniques, even ZBrush tutorials about using ZBrush for jewelry stuff. You have many information about casting, about stone setting, about 3D printing, many different things. Also, you already have here everything organized under different lists. When you have the teaching, when you will find the enamel and resin, beads, string and white wrapping, jewelry history. You have many different stuff, everything compilated or compressed into one single place. I recommend you this. For example, talking about engraving and miling, casting. Let me see, where are here 3D jewelry manufacturing, when you can be what is the list? The list here is here, or when you will find a list of different tutorials about the 3D jewelry with ZBrush and with other softwares, the casting process, the connection, the jump that you should take between 3D and casting, and 3D and 3D printing and casting. So this is a very interesting place to visit if you are interested on jewelry design or jewelry manufacturing. Rio Grande, the big river, no, in English. They are from Albuquerque in the United States. Hope that helps. Yes, all optimized to 2 units. Yes, have you coming from other 3D apps with a huge menu? Yeah. Yeah, but they are not real problems. You know, for example, you can see here my dynamic brush scale here and the setting that I have here on my custom interface. If you're having problems with the brushes, I mean, for example, it's not the same working on an object of 2 millimeter that with an object of 200 millimeter. If you're having problem with the brushes, you should go to brushes. You know, I guess that you already know this, but anyway, I will say it. So you should go to draw, and you are able to play with the dynamics brush scale. So just playing with this setting, you will be able to increase your brush size to the right scale. But you are right. Yeah, this is I always say that the way of working that you should take when you are using ZBrush is a completely different than the regular way of working that you have working with other softwares. But it's like putting everything into the same balance. So if ZBrush request me these rules, but at the same time ZBrush is giving to me this finishings, or I'm able to do this with ZBrush. At the end, it's much bigger what I can do than what I can't, or what ZBrush is requested to be to make things different. So at the end, the amount of stuff, the amount of detail, the amount of complex thing that you can do with ZBrush is impressive. It's amazing. Okay, let's keep working on the snake. Okay. Then let's start working on the snake. So maybe, for example, let's hide the branch, the flowers. Then I'm going to get rid of this head, old one. Hide, and hide. And let's get visible only the snake. This is the snake we have. We already have polygroups here on the body. They are going to be necessary to be changed, because maybe we change them a little bit. One thing that I'm going to do is split the jaw from the head, split hidden. And what I'm going to do now is to merge the head with the body, merge down. So this is what I have. Let's try to fix the union between each other. This, let me see the polygroups. Okay, I'm going to paint a new polygroup here. You know, that's just as easy as paint a mask. The internal face of the mouth. A little bit more. And then Ctrl W. You know that the limits between each polygroup can be fixed, because here now the limit is very jagged. It has a very jagged limit, regular. Using this brush, smooth groups, you can fix this easily. And it's going to be better for the new topology, for the series measure, for getting a clean path or clean limits between polygroups. And then I'm going to group the head and the back of the snake has a one single polygroup, and this one going to be the same polygroup. So the polygroup red, the belly, and the polygroup yellow or green here on the top. So now let's go to series measure. Let's tell to ZBrush that we are looking for the same amount of polygons, the same amount of polygons. We would like to keep the groups. I don't want to smooth any groups, to apply any smoothing to the groups. The adaptive size, it is important to try to get as more regular quads as possible on the new mesh. Let's click on the series measure button and let's see what it does. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one step. I forgot to make the boolean between the head and the body first. So let's go to the gear, remesh by union. So there you go. Why? Oh, maybe. Okay, no problem. So let's go series measure. Now yes, and now we can click on maybe the half amount. Let's try first with half. Okay, like this. I think see the result is good enough. Maybe we can make a second try using the same smooth groups brush, just for relaxing the limits, like this and like this, just for getting a more relaxed unions. And now then we can, with the same amount, zero measure again. Now it looks better. Not, maybe we can try to relax this. Let's click it again. Okay, I think like this looks good. Okay, I think they are good enough. I think you can see here we are having 35,000 polygons. This is a very low poly mesh. It's going to be good for, maybe we can try to blend. Let's try to divide it. Divide 2 times. So we are reaching 500,000. It's going to be enough. Maybe we can start blending better the limits between the head and the neck. We're getting a better transition between the neck and the head, like this. And maybe we can try to make it thinner. This is going to be good. Let's fix some. You can see here what I'm watching here is that you can see here this is the continuity that I am having here. It's like instead of having this curve, let's try to make it more relaxed, the flow of the curve a little bit better. This is what I'm doing now. Like this. Let me check the limits. I think it's maybe here it is. Just for having a nice flow with the body. If we need to modify the branches, there is no problem at all, because we are still fixing things. But you can see here I'm looking for, at this moment, more the beauty of the snake body, because we can adapt the branches to the snake. Let's see, let's try apply some polishing, because I don't want to affect the detail on the snake of the head. Let me make a mask, and now we can start polish by feature, just for adding more tension to the mesh. Like this, polish by feature many times, so you can see you start getting more clean, smooth surfaces. We go to the number 2, even we will apply here, we will get even more like this, and then apply some polishing here. I think that this is, it's cute enough. Let me apply some. Now the problem that we don't have symmetry, but it is not going to be a big issue, because it's going to be easy to sculpt the head without symmetry. Maybe the nose strials, they are not going to be very important, because this is going to be a very small object. But okay, let me put this 2 little sockets there, I think, like this, and then let me push this in, and now let's start adding the stone setting. The stones, maybe I can fix the head here, and this is we can apply more resolution here. Subdivide 2 times, and maybe this part should be here. Okay. Okay. Oh, that smooth group brush is a cool thing. Yeah, smooth groups. This is the custom smooth brushes that I have. They're not really custom brushes because they come by default with ZBrush. If you go to your lightbox and open your brush section, here inside of the smooth folder, you will find many different brushes, the smooth brushes with different behaviors or with different actions. My favorites are, you can see here on my custom group of personal group of brushes, are the smooth groups, the smooth peaks, and the smooth valleys. But you have much more here inside of this folder, and this is very handy. The smooth groups brush is very handy. You are using old school polish by group commands. Yeah, you can apply when you need to apply an overall polishing to the whole surface. This is useful, but you want to apply an individual touches to a specific area, that as I did, the smooth groups brush is much more useful. Is it me or the head is upside down compared to the body? No, this is the top. This is the back. This is the spin of the snake goes here. Maybe the reason why is here the body starts rotating. And this is the back, this is the bottom, because I still have to differentiate the spin from the belly, because both, you can see here, both has, this one is almost flat and this one is more rounded. Maybe we can fix this easily. You can, because when you go to this level number 1, you can apply here. You can apply a mask, and then you can shrink the mask like this. You can invert the mask, and now you can push this in out a little bit, just for getting a better shape. And also, and then from the back here, I will shrink this. Like this, maybe no, like this. Then shrink the mask. Let's go to the highest level. Let's smooth, store more target, invert the mask, and now we can inflate, apply negative inflection. I don't know who to inflate like this, or maybe it doesn't look very good. Yeah, I think that it works. As I said before, try to make the bottom part of the body more concave. With this, we will save a bit of weight. This. And this is what we get now. That's smooth groups. And maybe we can apply some polishing here. Let me check now the weight of this part. Also, when we are sculpting and we are creating jewelry design, we should know on which metal we will cast it. Today the gold, it's so expensive that maybe has more sense to start creating gold-plated items, or not solid 100% gold, maybe with silver or silver plated, or trying to find a completely different metals, because the gold is so expensive today that maybe hasn't too much sense. The reason why I click on the store morph target first, apply any transformations to the mesh is this, because you can see here the issue I have here. But if I already have recorded the morph target, I can come back to its original shape, and it's ready like this, like this, and like this. Maybe here the body looks too thin. Maybe I need to fix this. Maybe I can apply a mask here without the back face. Like this. Maybe. Fix this, maybe the body. One cool thing that you can do when you are having two different polygroups, you can go here to the, let me put it here just for watching the two colors. You can go to the, let's go to the height subdivision. Let's go now to the masking and turn off border, turn off crease, and mask by feature groups. Then apply a mask to the groups limits. Now you can grow the mask. You can invert the mask, and now you can inflate it. And you will get that nice lip or a nice border, or I don't know how to call this, to limit between each. I think it's apply a nice, in my opinion. Just keep in mind that we are gonna set the stones on the body, so as I was saying over and over, now we are just worried about the shapes, because once we start putting the stones on the surface, maybe it is not going to be so important to have so perfect body, because we are going to be able to hide some imperfections with the stones. But I think like this is it's going to be enough. So let me save this. Hey, it feels so good. Welcome. Nice name. So okay, what I'm gonna do is, because I already have this custom brush for the hand cutter, I already have subdivision levels, and I want to use an insert brush. I don't want to lose them. My simple way of working is make a duplicate and delete on the subdivision levels on the copy, but I keep the original here with the subdivision level. Maybe it is a rudimentary way of working, but it works. Let's see. I'm having an issue here. I don't know why. Let me try to fix this. Okay, now I go to this wonderful plugin. If you don't already know it, I recommend you to find it and install it. It's the IMM draw size. It's perfect for stone setting. And this is my custom brush for the hand cutter, because you can see it is a traditional hand cut shape. And as I was saying before, we are about to set 1mm stones on the eyes. We should go to this plugin, tells to ZBrush that we are looking for 1mm, enter, press this big button here, set IMM draw size. And when we start growing the mesh, at any time we press the Ctrl key, we will block the shape to the desired measurement. So let me change this first. The depth here, something not so deep. Here, split mask points. And same thing here, 1 millimeter. Okay, something like this. And if we turn on this is what we are getting. We are about to create two 1 millimeter sockets for the stones. Now at this time without the prongs yet. But do you want to know how to apply the prongs? I already have this custom brush made by me. I'm going to select this prong. I should go first to the stroke menu, curve, and turn off the curve mode. If not, if I don't turn this off, I will get this. But I don't want to use the curve mode, so stroke, turn this off. I am looking for 0.6 millimeter prongs, 0.6, maybe 0.67 point. Set me. I am in draw size, and this is okay. I should change from a stroke to drag rectangle. And now I can. This is maybe deeper, like this. Maybe smaller, 0.6 millimeter. That's it. Split mask points. Maybe this one should go underneath this one, and we will get this. Just for knowing that we are going to have enough space for setting 1 millimeter stones. At this point, it is not 100% important for having this, because the snake is 100%, it's not completely finished. Maybe we should fix some things first, but just for having a reference about the sizes of the stones and the prongs and so on. So something like this. Of course, once you have the prong inside, you can polish this, and you can they are not going to be so visible. I will face it from the front, from the top, because I think here they are too visible. This, you are right. Maybe we are going to need more cavity of the eyes. This is a bigger eye socket from here. Maybe we can paint a mask. Maybe we can paint a mask. Yes, like this. Invert the mask, and maybe we can blur the mask, and we can push this in. Okay, not that much. Maybe we can. And now we have more cavity to hide the prongs. Like this is going to be enough, I think. Where I am here, I need this. This should be here. Okay, I think it's going to be enough just for having a good reference. Okay, it's going to be enough. And let's see. Okay, let's take one step further. So with just for, let's see how it interacts with the branch thing here. You can see here, and it's going to be necessary to modify the branch a little bit, like this, okay, maybe like this, maybe like this. Maybe this is too straight. Maybe if I try to change it like this, you can see it painted from the front, from the top. This is the top view. It has this angle. This is the back. This angle, I don't like it. Maybe I will try to make both lines more parallel. Let's see how I can fix it. If we need to move more than one subtool, maybe we turn this on and then send it to the center. Oops, I already have here a mask. Why? Remove the mask. What time is it? Okay, we are still have 40 minutes more. So let's change the angle. Now it looks better. Maybe we can go into the lowest subdivision level. Oops, I moved the wrong snake. This is not the right snake. This one. Maybe yes. Like this. Let's go to the lowest subdivision level. I'm gonna grab a portion of the body from here to here, maybe more. Blurred mask, maybe less. Blurred mask. And now let's start bend it from here like this. Fix this. Okay, now I think now it works better from all the views. Let's see, where is the needle? Okay, maybe we can bend the neck a little bit. Blur mask. Let's bend it here. Okay, I think I like it. So let's save it. Let's put this here, and let's start playing with the textures. I said before that I don't want to use the scales on the body, but in the bottom, on the belly here, this is on a polygroup, the red polygroup. Instead of leave it flat, or also I will try to change the shape a little bit, just for removing a bit more material. Let me try to increase the lazy mouse. Just for giving it a more concave surface. Let's apply some polishing. Let's see, okay, something more about something like this. more concave, and instead of leave it flat, leave it flat. Maybe it could be cool if we add a bit of kind of texture. And for apply the texture, we can use the traditional method or of the UV map. Still watching some parts that I don't like. They haven't the right continuity with the curves, but okay. Maybe here. I recommend you are about to apply a texture on the surface. Be sure first that the surface works. It's not going to be necessary to change or the proportion of or the shape of the mesh after applying the texture. If not, you can break the texture or deform the texture. So it's better to spend a little bit more time before going to the final texture application. Like this. Okay, let's see. So let's go now to let's apply one more subdivision level. Now we have more than 2 millions, more than enough. So let's go to the UV master. First step, work on clone. We already have the two different polygroups, the green and the red. So let's unwrap it. It is not symmetrical, so we can turn it off, but keep the polygroups active and grab the mesh. And now we can flatten the mesh. So here we have the two islands. Maybe we can rotate it this or get both with the same orientation. Going to be like this. Flatten. And let's see if we go now to the surface noise. Let's close this. Okay, before closing this, let me apply a mask to the bottom. And now surface like this. And then noise block. I will try this. The stripes, okay. Let's go from white to black. Let's get rid of the mixed basin noise. Plug in a scale. We start watching the stripes. We are working with the default 3D mode, but let's change from 3D to UV. Let's make it bigger. And this is what we get. Maybe we can change the angle for getting a more artistical or interesting. Maybe getting more something like this. I think looks more cool. Or maybe, what do you think is maybe more playing with the angles like this. Don't forget that inside of the noise block, if you come back to the edit mode, you have different styles. The default one is a straight one, but you can ribbon. You have sawtooth like this. You have shine, something like this. Triangle. Maybe the default one. This is the one that I prefer. Straight like this and like this. Okay, I think we can get into edit. Let's save this noise configuration. We can now copy the UVs Then going to the original. The original is this one. And paste the UVs. Let's change the material. And now we can come back to the surface noise again and open the file we just saved it. This is the noise we have. Isolate this part. Let's shrink the mask a little bit. Now then you can apply mask by noise. Invert the mask. Maybe we can apply a mask of this one. And then we can, with Gizmo, we can shrink the mask a little bit and then polish. And we are having this kind of texture on the back. Then even it's visible from the front, which that is cool. And then it's going to be better. As I am not 100% sure, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this one. This is we can texture without capitals. Belly. And this is the original. I'm going to come back to leave it flat like this, just for maybe at the end we can try to with more than one texture, but at this moment this is the original. This is going to be the original body. Maybe we can apply more or less the same kind of texture of the jaw on the jaw. Maybe we subdivide it more. Divide and divide 2 times. Maybe we can use the chisel brush. If you are using this brush, don't forget to store your morph target first. Oops, with this for the freehand. And maybe we can not sure about what I'm doing, but we can try. As we recorded the morph brush, we can fix the limits, making something like this. Then we can remove the last one, this one. And also if we play with intensity, maybe we can fade it like this. Will be better. Okay, let's leave it like this. Okay, no more comments. How many people are we? Okay, 30 people from YouTube and 17 from Twitch. Okay, thanks to everybody who are watching now the stream. And then okay, let's go ahead and start working on the flowers. I have a good reference for the flowers. I have this reference. The main reference is going to be this one. This is the kind of flowers that I'm going to use as a reference. Now you can see here, I was explaining this on my previous streaming. They are one single base meshes. We go to dynamic and I turn this off. You can see it hasn't, the petal hasn't any thickness. If I turn on my double, you can see it now, it hasn't any thickness. But if I turn on my dynamic mode, you can see here I can play with the thickness, and this is the thickness that I have now. If I take the transpose line from, I am using a 1mm thickness, because the idea that I have now here is that the cavity, we are going to create a cavity on the surface of the petal to put enamel inside, just for apply white color. So the profile, so we will make something like this. It's like adding a border with metal like this, and this is going to be with this profile. We will get this, so it will have this cavity, something like this. This is the step where the white, the yellow portion, this is going to be 0.6mm, right, just for putting the enamel inside. But before making the cavity, it's going to necessary to give the form, the final form to the petals. So sculpting an organical form as a flower, you know that we already have many different options inside of ZBrush with the radial symmetry, array mesh, but I think, in my opinion, for giving them as more organical and non-artificial or 3D looking, it's going to be much better to sculpt them or create them one by one. You can see at the end of the petal, they have this kind of bite or negative space here. You can see it here very clearly here, and this is going to be necessary to create it. Also here, if I go here, the very interesting thing that is happening here in the border of the petals. We are having some kind of depression here in the middle. Maybe they have this kind of profile. Let's check more. They looks like they are concave. Mine has this kind of bending at the end. Maybe it's not so pronounced. Maybe, for example, this one is cool. What we can do is we can go to masking, mask by border, grow the mask, and now we can not this way. Maybe we can increase. Let me check first the geometry. Okay, I think it's good enough. Let me use the move brush instead of. We can turn off the dynamic first. And maybe we can push in this. Maybe we can change the topology now. Zero measure, same, without any smoothing. Okay, maybe like this. can apply some. Some polishing. Maybe we can use the move brush with the Acu curve option active for getting pointy endings. And maybe we can coming back again to the border mask, grow the mask, invert the mask, and let's see if we try to go in this direction. Maybe sharp mask, go, and now we can this direction. Now we can polish. Maybe something like this. Okay, they are going to be covered with enamel, so then has to be detailed, but not highly detailed surface, but a simple kind of texture is going to be good. Try to find the right organization of the petals. This is going up and down, this goes down, this goes up, this goes down, this goes up, this goes up, this goes down, like this. Let's try to fix. If I turn on again the dynamic subdivision, just for checking the thickness. This is the thickness. We're having a problem here with the thickness in this part. I think it is because you can see here these polygons we have here. If we go now to the series measure, we say to series measure, give me the double, and now apply the adaptive size from 0 to 50, keeping the groups like this. We are getting better results on the borders. We can max the border, grow the mask, invert the mask, and apply some polishing. Polish, polish, polish. And now we can make a new mess with the same. Let's see how it works now. Whoops, it's still working, not working very well. But I think it's going to be good enough. Don't forget that you can play with the offset. If we select a different offset, you can see the thickness works better. If we stay in the middle, no, maybe 50. I think we're getting better results. Now we are having here 1 millimeter. Yes, almost 1 millimeter, and it's going to be enough. Maybe we can change the petals a little bit. Let's see how it works. Maybe we can change the angle. It is not touching the snake. No, it is not touching the snake. Like this. Okay, I think it looks good. Maybe let's stay in 20. of the offset, maybe less, 10. Okay, let me keep this as a backup, as a copy of the original before converting this, applying the dynamic subdivisions. A very cool thing about the thickness, adding thickness with dynamic, you can apply with the, you can add segments, maybe more like this, and then apply. Perfect. And then, so don't get in such kind of this kind of blocky forms that it doesn't look like a flower, because it looks like more like a completely different thing, because it has very sharp edges on 90 degrees planes. What we can do is let me select this polygroup, invert visibility, start growing the mask, grow and grow 3 rows. Let's create a new polygroup, Control W, and now we can apply a mask here, and now we can polish by feature, and now we are getting this. You notice that when you are applying the polishing, you are destroying too much. You are getting a very high deformation. Maybe it's time first to start subdividing your mess two times, half of a million. Okay, let's apply the mask again, blur the mask again, invert the mask, then you can apply more freely the, okay, there you go. This, where's the stone for this one? No, it's this one. Oops, like this. Okay, looks good. So let me apply one more detail, selecting the front polygroups, invert the mask, coming back to masking, where I am, masking border, make everything visible again, grow the mask, something similar as we did on this snake body. It's like adding a little lip on the borders of the flower. You can see how it looks nicer. This. Okay, looks good. So now it's time to start applying a bit of texture on the surface. Let's isolate these polygroups. Let's grow the mask. Maybe we can make a store more target first, and we can hide this stone. We can use the clay build-up just for adding this kind of just for don't having such perfect smooth surfaces, just having this. I'm thinking now this is not very important what I'm doing, because I still need to create the cavity or the enamel, but okay, let's see. Maybe I'm doing now more than necessary, but okay, let me check it first. Let's see how it looks like on the back. It looks good. Maybe the back is not so important, because but the back, yes, is going to be important in terms of texture. Yes, this is going to be more important, instead of as we did on the snake body on the back, just for don't have no boring flat surfaces. Maybe we can apply some texture here. Okay, smooth that. Let's apply a bit of smoothing for integrate the strokes. Okay, let's see, like this. Just getting something like this, so maybe we can apply. Okay, no more questions, no more comments. Okay, I keep working, no problem. So we can change this, and now it's time to shave first. And now it's time to show you another cool external plugin. Its name is Precision Extract. Where are you? Here. And with this plugin we have the ability of create a precise extraction in millimeters. You can see the thickness in millimeters. We can control the thickness in millimeters. So I select this polygroup, this polygroup, this polygroup, and this polygroup. Let's go down with the subdivision level, invert the visibility, and start shrinking the mesh 1, 2, 3 times, for example. Let's see how thin is this, the border. 0.3, almost 0.4. Okay, sounds good. Let's shrink the mask one more time, sharpen the mask, maybe shrink the mask again, sharpen the mask again. And now we can, as I said before, we can control the amount of thickness that we are about to extract. As we are looking for example, we are here, this is the surface, and we are looking for an extraction of, as I said before, 0.6 millimeter. So it's just like pushing the mesh in this direction, just for getting this cavity, right? So if you go here to the plugin, you are watching here the double. That means that the plugin it's going to extract the same amount into this direction than into this direction, and both directions are going to be 0.6 and this is going to be 0.6, but the amount of mesh that we need is this one, the amount of mesh that it's going to be inside, just for creating the socket for the enamel. So in this case it's going to be necessary to turn this on, double 0.6 and extracts, and this is what we get. And if we turn this on as a negative, this is what we are getting. Now we are having a problem. Let me hide the other subtools just for being focused on the flower, like this. The first issues that we have, you can see here, it doesn't follow precisely the border, but it's not a big issue. This one we can fix this very easily. Just for getting something like this. We can fix this. This is very easy to fix. This is the cool thing about the about the live boolean is that the booleans are live. Where I am, so I need to touch this one. Yes, you can see here the cavity. The boolean is live. We can see in real time because it's like we are just rendering. Oh, here I am moving. We are just rendering the result of the boolean operation. So before telling to ZBrush that I need the final boolean result, I can transform the message, and this is magic. Like this, and let's stay a little bit far away from the border. Like this. Okay. Okay, and now we can change the topology like this, going to the series measure. Same amount, keeping the groups, don't apply any smooth, and like this. And apply some polishing, and this is what we get. And now we can apply a bit of texture here. Let's subdivide it. Let's see how it looks like. Sorry, I need to answer on WhatsApp. This, okay, you can see here. Let's see, maybe much better. Let's work better the texture at the bottom. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, now it looks nicer. I still need to check one thing to call it finish it or ready. Very important thing, but okay, let's get focused now on the texture. Let's see here. This, and maybe let's see if I apply, oops, if I apply this stroke, what I'm having is this. Okay, perfect. So let's one stroke, two stroke, and the middle. that this is going to be enough. Okay, so, I need to check one very important thing that is very difficult to control, but let's see what we can do. Because we said, did we take the measurement here? No. Now we are having here 0.6 millimeter. Okay, we have 0.5521. Okay, it's going to be enough. 0.5, 0.5, 0.6 at some point, and we are having, we are making an organical forms. We are working with very irregular shapes. It's very difficult to have under control exactly 100% precise thickness all over the surface. Another problem that we have is, for example, if we go here, let me see how I can check it. So if I insert the cube, now it's huge. You can make it smaller, like this. For example, here, if I turn this on, let's go here as a negative. No, this is negative, this is negative. Okay. This is the problem that we are having, is we should know that the thickness of the bottom of the petal is going to be enough for being printed and casted. So you want to have success. Maybe lower than 0.6 millimeter, maybe it's going to be dangerous. For example, here you can see here, would you take a measurement here? For example, if I apply a red color to this cube, it's gonna be easier to see. Go fill object. No, I should fill the cube in red. Fill object, white. Come on, white. And you can see here the cut of this of the petal. If I take the measurement here we're having 0.3 millimeter, and here we are having 0.1 millimeter, 0.2 millimeter. You can see here exactly in this cavity we are having a very, very thin surface. Okay, the only way to fix this is, as we have been working with polygroups. This is the flower, this is the petal, the flower. What we can do is isolate this polygroup. Maybe we can grow the mask here. And maybe try to find the right direction here, and then we can make it thicker. Like this. As we don't, if we make it thicker like this from the size, the borders of the petal looks a little bit maybe too bold, and then maybe it's gonna be a better idea to start pushing out the cavity. Now let's check. You can see now we have more thickness. Too much, maybe now. As an average, because as I said before, making organical form, they have very regular, non-regular surfaces. Here we are having 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.7, so it has more sense. So this one we are more, it is much better. If we keep moving the cube, maybe just for taking, you can see here how you're having the necessary thickness now. Maybe too much, maybe too much. Maybe it is. Again, thinking about the weight. When we are closer to the border, maybe we can make the thicker, like thinner. like this. Also we can use the H polish brush for giving it this kind of finishing. Another thing that you can do, once you have the physical metal piece, you can remove an amount of material just for grinding or removing material with a file. If necessary, you see that maybe the piece is too heavy, but I think at this point I think it's going to be enough like this. Maybe we can sculpt some details on the surface, on the borders, like this. What time is it? Okay, we are done for today. I'm gonna start thinking about just wrapping up the live, the streaming. I need to say thank you to all of you who have been watching this streaming, and thank you to all of you who have been watching the video on YouTube. So let's see, what I can do is let's put everything visible. Let's turn this on. Let's turn this on just for showing what we did today. Like this, and like this. This is how far we went. Today, for the next month, we will keep working on the detail. Maybe we will start adding the gems on the surface. I will show you one last thing, using the paintbrush with the drag dot. Precision extract to 1 millimeter. So if I touch something. Okay, I don't know what I did. Micro polish. What I did. Now we have a fat snake. Okay, this is the one with the substitute. Okay, no problem. So let's fill object with white, switch the color, and now we are going to be able to, just for creating the layout. This is 1 millimeter. I turn on. This is just for creating the layout for the stone. This is what I have in mind, just for putting a row of stones. Here, for example, we can start making a pavé on the surface, on the head. Just on the head, and now this is what we still need to be created. And also we will put stones here just for with a random distribution, just for getting this kind of effect of the snake skin without scales. And we will put green stones on the back just for getting something like this. So this is what we will do probably next month. So till then I will try to finish the other flower, just for being focused on the stone setting on the finishing touches on the next streaming. And that's it. Hope you like it. Feels so good. Thank you very much to you for being here. Thanks Grizzly Plant Fortified for being here. And I will be here again next month in June. I don't know when. Maybe I'll try. I used to book my streamings in the middle of the month. Maybe this from the 2nd from the second or the third week of the month, depending on the available slots. But for sure, I will be here streaming, talking about ZBrush for jewelry. So stay tuned for my next streamings. If any of you are interested in my job, here at the bottom of my face, you will find my link tree for visiting my social media sites or places, and I'll see you here next month. So take care and thanks everybody. Bye. See you.